Hi guys, it's Joe Micela, 2012 Olympic coach, head coach and owner of Performance One Advanced Sports Training. Today in our Ask Coach Joe segment, we had two great questions come in today. One is from Mark Higby. Mark asked, Coach, when catching the snatch, is it important to have your shoulders internally or externally rotated? And Mark brings up a really good point because we see a lot of injuries that occur with people who don't perform the snatch correctly. Okay? Internal rotation of the shoulder is having an internal rotation of the shoulders. The shoulder is slightly turned in, and the elbows are pointing out. External rotation is the elbows now are facing more down and in, and the shoulder is now looking and moving towards the back. External rotation of the shoulder is very, very dangerous. Okay, external rotation of the shoulder, external rotation of the elbow can put that athlete in a compromising situation. If the elbow is too far back, okay, we don't want to have that shoulder taking on, or that elbow taking on that extreme stress on the body. We want that shoulder to be more internally rotated with the elbows pointing out, that bar secured in the overhead position. Okay, those people that are teaching this position of catching the bar with their elbows turned out, the shoulders externally rotated, or excuse me, externally rotated, are going to have more misses. Okay, they're also going to have over time potential to have more injury to the elbow and to the shoulder and to the wrist. Mark brings up a really good point. So a couple drills to help ensure that you have an internally rotated shoulder and not externally rotated shoulder. We would first start with having the athlete perform snatch presses from behind the neck and working on that final finishing position overhead. Making sure they understand the position of the shoulders, elbows, and wrists. Then from there we would work on presses into the bottom of the overhead squat, working on our 3 levels of receiving position, quarter, half, and full squat position. Then we move into our drop snatches, again, where the athlete is building repetition and strength of position, lowering their body fast into our 3 receiving positions, quarter, half, and full. Again, the athlete is focusing on the elbows, the shoulders being internally rotated into that locked overhead position. From there, the athlete would go through their pulls from the front of their body, and then we would move through their high pulls and then through their muscle snatches. The muscle snatch, again, from our previous class, is now taking that bar close to the body and rotating it. As they rotate, they're feeling that locked out position, a secured lockout position, without a looping and a no laying of the bar over their body into that external rotated position. But keeping the bar close and punching the bar over their head, minimizing that external rotation, minimizing the stress on the wrist, elbows, and the shoulders with that movement. Mark, great question. Thanks, and keep them coming. Next question comes from Nick Sherman. Nick asked the question, Coach, how do you typically work around back injuries, specifically and including disc injuries to the lower back? Great question, Nick. With any type of injury, we're always going to have that athlete consult with a primary care physician. Okay? That is going to be the first and foremost. Once they've diagnosed the injury, then we can better work with that athlete. Whether they've had x-rays, whether they've had MRIs, whether the doctor has recommended a certain type of exercise and rehabilitation protocol for this athlete, we're going to work hand in hand with that athlete's primary care physician, whether it be an orthopedic surgeon, whether it be a chiropractor, whether it be a massage therapist. We're going to work with them in all aspects of this athlete's returning back into performance. Given said that, when they're in the gym, we're going to work, our primary goal is pain-free range of motion. So we're going to select exercises that we know that they don't have any issues with. If it is a disc issue, you have to take on a lot of factors in terms of working around the compressing forces of both the snatch and the clean and jerk and the squats. Also, with doing some of our deadlifts and pulls, we may have to limit those. At first, we would always just try to get them to start moving their body, okay? With some of our base progression exercises, with lighter weights, taking them through their sequences and seeing how their body responds to that. In addition to them doing all their physical therapy associated with this. It is going to be a long process. It may be months, it could be years before they actually get to lifting where they were before. But taking a more conservative approach is the best way when you're dealing with disc injuries. So to recap, contact their primary care physician, have them set up a game plan with you as to the best course of action with someone's lower back injury, especially when related to disc. And unfortunately with backs, each back injury is unique. And there's no one cookie cutter program that I could say, hey, this is what we do for this particular situation. Everyone is different, whether it's their L4, their L5, or they're going to have any other issues related to their SI joints or their facet joints. Those things are going to have to be addressed on an individual basis. So great question, Nick. Sorry I couldn't give you a little bit more specific details with that, but when in doubt, like I said, go light, work around it, and you will be in a better situation. Guys, that's it for today's questions. Like I said, the last thing I wanted to bring up was that in next week, we're going to be going over questions regarding purely strength and conditioning. Strength and conditioning for athletics, whether you're a football player, a wrestler, softball player, volleyball player, okay, track and field athlete. Bring us your questions, okay? Also, the week after that, I'm going to be in Peru for the Youth Pan American Championships. One of our athletes, Kaya Bramwell, will be competing. We're accepting donations now on our website at performance1.net to help out with travel costs to this event. Kaya is one of the top youth lifters in the country, and we're looking to go get a medal down there in Peru. So any support and help that you can give would be great. Thanks, and you can follow us again at performance1.net. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/performance1. Thanks a lot, guys, and we look forward to meeting up with you down the road.